So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to the dude who was sitting at my table. It's very nice, too. Dave Zukowski, President and Chief Executive Officer of Hyundai Motor America, is responsible for the strategic direction and management of the company's operations in the United States. Zukowski, whom I will refer to as Dave, a 33-year veteran of the automotive industry, joined Hyundai Motor America in February 2007 as Vice President of Sales and was promoted to Executive Vice President, National Sales in 2010. Wow. He was promoted in his current role as President and Chief Executive Officer in January 2014. Dave joined Hyundai from Mazda. What? Mazda North America, where he served as Vice President of Sales and Field Operations. Dave began his career in 1980 at Ford Motor Company. Is that when you lived in Detroit? We're homies, you know. I'm from Detroit. Just saying. He has spent 23 years in various executive level positions, including regional manager, product marketing manager, national merchandising manager, and field operations manager for the Ford and Lincoln Mercury divisions. Dave earned his Bachelor's of Arts in Communications from the University of Washington. Without further ado, give a big round of applause for Dave.
I would like to have Michelle just go through my script, I think, for an entertainment value that couldn't be mad. Good afternoon, everybody. I got to tell you, over the, I think the press release was outdated. I've been doing this for 36 years. Over the course of 36 years, I've been to a lot of Chamber of Commerce meetings, and I got to tell you, the energy in this room and the vibrancy is really pretty amazing, and the turnout is outstanding, so it's really, really good to see. So 50 years, that used to seem like a really, really long time, but now since I look in my personal rearview mirror, and that's well behind me now, it doesn't seem so long anymore. I'm honored to have been invited to speak here on this 50th anniversary of the Fountain Valley Chamber of Commerce, and I thank you for allowing me to be part of this really festive and really important milestone event. We at Hyundai are very proud to be longtime members of the Fountain Valley community. We appreciate all that the Chamber does to make our community a better place to live, a better place to work, and a better place to shop. And we give thanks to the many business owners and leaders that are here today who have continually invested in this community, who've generated tax revenues that are critical to Fountain Valley's foundation, and who've provided good livings for many local families who live here. You are the bedrock of this community, and you make, as the Chamber's slogan so aptly says, Fountain Valley is such a very nice place to live. My central theme today here is going to be about change. So much has changed since 1966, and the Chamber has been there like a rock to witness all of it and to make sure that the city evolves along with the seismic, societal, generational, and technological shifts to ensure that Fountain Valley doesn't get left behind in the dust. Your vision and your guidance has grown Fountain Valley from a tiny agriculture-based community of just 2,000 people to a thriving and diverse city of nearly 60,000 strong. And Hyundai has grown right along with Fountain Valley. We're celebrating our 30th anniversary in the United States this year. And we've also evolved from an unknown, fledgling company in 1986 with sales of 168,000 in our first year to become the 5th largest automaker in the world with 800,000 sales in the US this year and over 8 million sales globally. And we've proudly elected our home in Fountain Valley. We're investing in a big way with our beautiful new 500,000 square foot North American headquarters just down the road that houses over 1,200 Hyundai employees. So just think, when this chamber began operation in 1966, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was 785. A new home, get this, cost $14,200. Average annual income, this one hurts a little bit, was $6,900. The average cost of a new car, $2,650, and the price of gas to run it, 32 cents a gallon. Since 1966, our world has rapidly gone global. Men have landed on the moon, walls have come down in Germany, and the internet has changed our very existence in a way that was unimaginable even 15 years ago. In my world, we're now even talking about a not too distant future of fully autonomous and driverless vehicles, just like the Jetsons used to show us. These changes have been overwhelming for sure, but we've all adapted and prospered, and we're going to continue to evolve even as that rate of change is going to increase exponentially. I think it's very likely that we will experience more change in the next 10 years than this council has witnessed in the entire 50-year history of the chamber. And this transformation is being enabled almost exclusively by emerging technology. In my business, the automobile has evolved from being a set of wheels to becoming the ultimate mobile device. The idea of the connected car is redefining our industry, and it's also reshaping the entire world. Uber is a really great example of what's happening today. Uber didn't invent a new product or create a new category. Instead, they rewrote the rules for the market by embracing new technology. And they completely disrupted the way that that industry traditionally operated. Now, the taxicab business has been shaken to its very core. They simply never saw it coming and were unprepared to defend their turf. And that same phenomena is happening in industries all across the country. And it directly affects every single one of us in this room to one extent or another. Think about brands like Netflix and Dollar Shave Club and Zappos and Airbnb, Apple, Tesla, Amazon. They are major market disruptors that are using technology to reinvent something that had existed pretty much unchanged for decades. And guess what? The consumers love it. Every aspect of our lives is being completely transformed by technology. Plus, every aspect of the consumer shopping experience is changing too. As local business people, we have to pay attention to this, or we all run the risk of becoming Uberized. I'd like to take a quick look at 4 macro trends that are fundamentally changing the way business is being done today. The on-demand economy is the first of these major market disruptors. Exactly what does it mean? Exactly what it sounds like. I want what I want, precisely when I want it, and now I have the technology at my fingertips to make sure I can make that happen. So what you say? Well, your consumers, your customers are getting used to the joys of instant gratification. And there's a growing expectation by all consumers today that they're going to receive comparable levels of service from every brand they shop or buy. And if you're not consistently able to meet those heightened expectations of this on-demand economy, they're just simply going to shop somewhere else without even a second thought. So we got to make sure that we're ready for this instant gratification consumer who wants what they want right now. The second mega trend to look at are the seismic generational shifts that are completely redefining the shopping experience and they're reshaping the retail processes. You're probably sick of the constant media buzz surrounding millennials and Gen Ys, but if you take a look at the numbers, they are real and they are a very formidable agent of change. The Gen Y population today exceeds 80 million, and 75% of them will be purchasing a new vehicle over the next 5 years. That's 64 million sales coming to market in the next 5 years. And they're going to be buying lots of other big, durable goods as well. They will surpass baby boomers as the largest generational cohort next year, and they're going to control over 40% of the new automobile market. Millennials are digital natives. They were born into this age of technology. Computers and phones have literally become extensions of their body. Most importantly, they shop and they behave completely differently from any preceding generation. But it's even bigger than that. We broadly define generations by age group. But today it's really more about a mindset. For the first time ever, older generations are actually learning from younger generations, adapting their ways and altering their buying behavior. Would it surprise you if I told you that the average age of an Amazon Prime user is in their late 40s? Or that baby boomers spend more on technology than any other generation? This is not just about Gen Y anymore. Traditional buyers are morphing right before our very eyes. So what? Well, this new generation of shoppers is completely different. Their expectation is for a fast and enjoyable shopping experience. Imagine that. They value transparency, predictability, convenience, low pressure, and personalization. Traditional sales practices are simply not going to work for them, either in my business, automotive, or any other retail business. That's exactly why they embrace and cherish their shopping experiences at Amazon and Apple and Zappos and Netflix and all the others. It's also why traditional retailers are all left feeling the squeeze. How many of your businesses are meeting these expectations today? In my business, apparently not many, based on a recent research finding where 89% of millennials anticipate that their car shopping experience is going to be a great hassle. The bar has definitely been raised, and either we need to up our games or someone else will leap into that space to replace us. Those wheels are already well in motion, and you can just go ask a taxi cab driver if you want to see how that feels. The next area of megatrend change is urbanization. It's a significant driver of societal transformation, which has significant implications for automotive, but for all businesses as well. Make no mistake about it, suburban flight is dead, led by Gen Y on one end of the spectrum and empty nesters on the other. 84% of all Americans will live in urban areas by the year 2020. Again, so what? Why do we really care where they choose to live? And it's because people who are trading in their big commutes to live in urban settings are going to directly impact the future of mobility and transportation needs. Urban dwellers are looking to save money. They have to. Urban living is very expensive. So they're becoming more reliant on alternative modes of transportation, like mass transit and ride-sharing services like Uber or Lyft, or car-sharing platforms where you pay by the hour for like Zipcar and FlexDrive. By necessity, there will be fewer multiple vehicle households due to the high costs and the density and the infrastructure capacity issues in urban settings. And that trend is important to automotive, but it's also very important for other related big box retailers. Our arrival into the age of complete transparency marks the fourth substantial disruptive influence rippling through our business environment. There are no trade secrets anymore. 24/7 connectivity and the democratization of data has created a direct bridge between the online experience and the in-store experience. This enables a customer-led shopping experience that shifts the power of information from being business-controlled to being consumer-centric, and that really is a sea change. So what? In our business, the existence of independent third parties like TrueCar or Kelley Blue Book or Edmunds has provided shoppers with ready access to new vehicle configurators and pricing information and financing options and used car values. It's a new world order that applies not only to automotive, but to all business segments. After many, many years of talking about it, and really the first idea of consumerism started 50 years ago in 1966, the consumer is finally king after all these years. And that trend has fueled customer expectations for increased transparency, greater convenience and authenticity, and third-party validation. And if your business is still trying to control the flow of information at sale, then you're going to struggle in meeting the expectations of this new consumer. And social media and peer reviews are going to spread that news like wildfire to prospective clients. So we're living in a completely different world. So what? What does this all mean? The bottom line is that all of these market dynamics are manageable, completely manageable. but they will dramatically redefine the role of business and the role of the chamber as we move forward over the next 5 or 10 years. And they will require that we evolve our business practices to reflect this new normal. Resisting these market forces or choosing to ignore them altogether and cling to the past is not a viable go-forward strategy for survival. We all need to have the courage to walk away from ingrained processes and business practices that have previously been proven winners and probably made us a lot of money, and you need to be willing to accept that they may not be relevant in today's market. As local business leaders, let's reconnect with our entrepreneurial DNA and get back to our roots and innovate and take calculated risk and take these challengers on head on. All I know for certain is that small business is the lifeblood of any community, and nowhere is that more true than in Fountain Valley, California. In fact, no one embodies the entrepreneurial spirit required to embrace these changes and adapt to them more than the local businesses and community leaders represented here in this very room today. We have collectively grown and prospered in our first 50 years, and we've done so by boldly embracing change and not resisting it. I look forward to facing these emerging challenges together and continuing to grow and prosper over the next 50-year journey. We at Hyundai are proud of our relationship with the Chamber, and we're honored to celebrate this very special day with all of its members. Thank you so much for your generosity of time and your attention. I would like to do one thing before I close, and I'd like to ask that Bob Hall and Tony Capolino join me up here at the podium. As a signal of Hyundai's commitment to this great city, I am very honored to present a new Hyundai Santa Fe for the fire department volunteers, the senior volunteers, to drive for the next 2 years as our way of saying, as Tony explained to me, he said they're great people, they've been doing it for a long time, they're getting on in years, and it's really getting difficult for them to squeeze themselves into this old Honda they have. So they're going to have a brand new Santa Fe. Congratulations. That's it, just one car today, no more. So, all right. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you for letting us to participate.